Enjoy the show. Play on my channel.
You've heard of Spider-Man. So here's my idea. Some of you are ahead of me on this one.
A bat? God, I remember when I had to sit through that. So horrible. They tried to sell me Viagra. My tick works. I don't need it. He knows what he's talking about. Grandma told me that they're making MMO on The Mandalorian.
Meanwhile, you walk right by the bowl of butterscotch.
Welcome,
Or
gang, to the 312th, if you'll believe it, Purge Hangers and Wall Hangers Media Network presentation. We are the only podcast to consistently fuck up, but you still keep coming back to the Triforce podcast, of course. I am your host, Matthew B. Grell, the Mat Man, and to my left, we have Christopher Bristow, the old man. Our special guest Purge Hanger, Natalie.
No nickname yet. No nickname yet.
Yet. We'll get there.
Right.
By the end of the podcast.
You earn a nickname through the podcast.
Eventually.
And
I have one lined up though. That was fun. So that's fine.
Well, announce yourself.
Skelenor Rigby. So
I'll allow it.
yes.
It is. And our
Very excited about
omnipotent presence that is Big Brother Stephen Bucarell. Hero Time mascot, right by my feet, like he always is. And we want you to hop on over here to pjandwh.com, where you're going to find all of the funny and luggy nutty moments, like the formation of Klitz and Kilts up top.
Yep.
And if you scroll down, you'll actually find last Lugnuts podcast, which was Ford's floppy wiper struggle.
It was a floppy news week this week.
Yeah.
You'll
But
get that flopped over to the next one and get an extra long show.
if you hop over to the second Purge Hangers and Wall Hangers tab, you'll find
Title
Wall
fixed.
Janger Gaming. And that is where you'll find myself and Big Brother streaming Saturday to Friday. I'm going through the Old Republic with Jedi Knight Tour of Ra. Right now, we're on Voss. Just finished
you're
up
there.
on
Okay.
the prison colony planet. Got that set. I'm on Voss, having a good time. Big Brother trudging through the Elden
I'm
Ring.
attempting to get to it this week, but
I'm-
probably not with work.
I finally crested like the third boss in Elden Ring, so whatever.
Oh,
You know,
Okay.
meetings at work have been kind of kicking my ass, so haven't been playing that many games this week.
you know what? Since last week, I actually did go back in and I started my playthrough of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Again.
And I turned on the ray tracing this time.
Oh yeah.
Holy fuck.
You're welcome, sir.
Oh my God. It's like something you didn't know you needed in your life.
So, long story short, Natalie, I got a new video card. I gave my old one to him. So he reaped the benefits of ray tracing with the new video card, and he didn't realize how much buffering and video editing improved in his life.
It's also how I got a washer and dryer.
It's also how I got the couch. My house would be mostly empty if it was.
I get a lot of free shit off of him. So
He's got,
it's not
he's
just
got,
that.
he's got the monitor mounts and
Yeah.
this desk.
All right. You can send some of them my way.
Look, I'm telling you, the old man Goodwill furniture store, when it does come out, you're just like, I don't know. I don't really know if that one will fit. Maybe that one
We
won't.
do. It is a small space.
Yeah, we can only fit so much in here. We're going to pass on that one. Other times, we get a nice corner couch, and Link loves it. I don't know where you bought it, but they deserve that little promo without saying their name.
That was Wayfair, believe it or not.
Pay me.
Insert affiliate link here.
I tell you what, they can
You'll find
contact
it-
us.
Yeah, you'll find it here if they paid. If not, you'll find it in this first story.
Absolutely. Yeah, not lug nuts. Unless you want to learn about the lug nut stories to come. But
There should be, yeah.
unfortunately, we have to talk about somebody who passed, which Neil Adams, comic book artist who revitalized Batman and fought for creators' rights, dies at 80. A big bucket of win.
Yeah, that's comic world. It's a big L as far as talent.
Kevin Smith republished his interview with him.
Yep.
And I started going through that because obviously there's a lot, whenever a major comic book legend dies, his artwork gets flooded. And one cover in particular, which you know which one it is, it flashed right up there. And I know because I bought it at Ollie's. It was the Batman and Joker. And Batman's on the card pinned, and then you have Joker laughing. It's in the fucking hallway upstairs.
Okay, yep.
I have his work, and I bought it because I was like, oh, this is perfect. I fucking love this comic book cover. It just looked awesome to me. And that is another side to comic book art.
He was
that
also
isn't
like co-creator Raja Ghul, the Man Bat. I know Nat's a Batman fan, so what are your thoughts?
Deadman, X-Men, Avengers. He's worked on all of them.
So what's Nat's thoughts?
I feel like I'm on the spot now. I enjoy his art a lot. I saw the collection at Ollie's that you're talking about too.
I love
because they had the series that was running through. It was really hard not to get all of them, but it is definitely a loss. A lot of the really hard-hitting comic creators are starting to pass now. So you're losing a lot of talent without gaining a lot of it back because the art style is not really there. A lot of it's just digital recreation now.
Yeah, but also, I mean, there's a lot of interesting thoughts out there to where you look at Ms. Marvel, for example, for a recent comic line. That didn't have the traditional art stylings of, like, say, a new comic. It had a more like I don't know how the fuck to describe it, but it was like comical. It wasn't trying to be like comic booky. It was very artistic. It wasn't necessarily beat you over the head with this is our old comic book style. So they're looking at different ways of doing it. Like you look at Neil Gaiman. Yep. His Sandman. Reading through that, you can tell this is clearly not following that same campy.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because I saw an interview with Kevin Conroy today. Of course, voice of Batman. Who doesn't know? But what? But like when he went in to do Batman the Animated Series, he was like, "Don't be like," the way he was described to present the voice was like, first of all, present the voice of Batman as one character and present the voice of Bruce Wayne as another character. And during the audition, don't be cartoony, don't be pukey, don't be, over the top. Like, this is a dark tone. And a lot of the comic books that we see nowadays that are being used for inspiration are like your 60s, 70s, 80s material that a lot of these artists are now at their end of life, and we're not, like Natalie said, we're not getting
to that point.
Return of investment on that talent level. You
look at what we're seeing with the movie industry and that inspiration from the comics. The recent Batman, we talked in the end credits. Their
inspiration comes
from a lot of Batman, Long Halloween.
Yep.
There was one with something Victory, Dark Victory or something with Robin. There was another one which was Year Zero, which was a more recent comic, but that's where you get the end arc in the Batman in Gotham. That's where you get that from, and that Riddler and that actual struggle from this picking your favorite storylines and then making that into your movie. That's exactly what Marvel is doing. They are doing that same thing.
I agree.
Well, they kind of have to, though, because if you're pulling it for, yes, it is for the fan base. So it's always for the fan base, but they also have to market to a ton of people who don't have any knowledge for the universe itself, for how it connects, for where the characters come into play. So they're going to pick what sells the best. Mm-hmm. And they're going to have to market to everybody, including people who have never picked up a comic in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to be able to create the content in order to give something to the new fan and to the old fan at the same time. And that's I understand the difficulty in building that kind of nuanced story and like build those Easter eggs for both sides of that pendulum. But to that effect, it's, where do we go from here?
Well, here's my thing: is that it's almost like everybody is forgetting they have a nerdy friend. You remember that? We are the nerdy friend. But
We are the nerdy friends.
people used to like, hey man, what the fuck is up with? And then you would explain stuff to them, and then be like, oh, okay, I get that now. And that would be it.
You know the ones that sat by themselves on the lunch table at school? Oh yeah. Here we go. Hi.
So
We're popular now.
not to make us fucking social lepers now, but yeah. Thanks, Dick. But when you look at different properties, especially with Batman, I think that DC is a very fertile ground right now with the Discovery takeover. I think that it's prime territory, especially with this line of thought of ripping from the comics, because honestly, there are, even if they just want to do this is my movie kind of a storyline, there is a lot of really great actual like one-off comics or even just comic storylines that you can adapt into a good DC movie. Give me a one-off of, I forget the name of it. It was like No More Gods or something like that. It's where literally
it's kind of like what
all
Paramount,
powers in the DC universe just stop.
It's kind of like what Paramount's doing with Halo. It's like having their
So Batman's normal.
Exactly. Batman is fighting the fight.
He's the
You have
only one.
everybody
Name
like Superman.
another.
Superman became an alcoholic.
What about Kite Man?
He's fine. He's flying kites.
Just flying.
What about the other universes though? Because they could always do Pirate Batman. I'm always down for Pirate Batman.
Gaslight Batman? Oh my gosh.
I've never thought of
There's
that
so many
idea, but-
different versions that you could go, because obviously Doctor Strange coming up on this Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Multiverse is in the forefront of everybody's mind. So what is that Batman multiverse that hasn't been done that you would like to see?
That sounds like a question for another end segment for another day, that we have to branch out to a larger story.
Just pick one.
Just pick one. I want a better. I like the art style of the Batman Ninja. I just wanted it done better.
Yeah.
I wanted it done better.
I honestly, Batman Beyond. I want that with Michael Keaton. Even though we're kind of
everybody wants
Yeah.
that.
we're gonna kind of, because the CinemaCon, the footage that they showed apparently was like long-haired Michael Keaton just sitting alone in Wayne Manor, just kind of fucking off.
I want him to be the Billy Badass that we know Michael Keaton can be.
That's why I want a Batman Beyond, because in Batman Beyond, I mean, yeah, he was alone in the Manor. Guess what? He was still in the Batcave. He had a dog. He had a friend.
A Great Dane. It
fuck
was
is
like,
He's like,
That's
here,
so much for my
fetch.
friend. Anyway.
I got a good one. You've
Go ahead.
heard of Spider Pig.
So
Here's my idea. Some of you are ahead of me on this one.
a bat that dresses like a man.
Bat Pig. Yeah, it'll be great.
Oh, I thought you were going for the other way. But no, that Bat Pig is better.
Yeah, Bat Pig.
Bat Pig is totally better. Damn.
Bat Goat. But I think we can't get any worse on this story, so let's go to the next one.
Well, this next story might just be a little bit worse for this next movie, because Marvel's Fantastic Four movie just lost its Watts. Because John Watts was directing and now has stepped off of the project. So John Watts no longer in Fantastic
longer-
Four.
Are you
1.21 gigawatts.
No gigawatts involved.
Okay. No
Are you
gigawatts.
volunteering?
No. But
He would
John
if it
Watts,
wasn't Fantastic Four.
I don't know. Maybe if you do
Why
another
are they
Iron
doing
Man
Fantastic
movie.
Four again? Like they already had a couple tries at this.
They had 3 movies.
do you think John Watts was just like, you know what?
Fourth one's a charm.
I fucking can't. I can't.
Just don't start over. Just keep going. Don't look back. You got to Hulk that shit. Just
Yeah.
that's in the past. Let's just keep moving.
Yeah, just move
Like,
on.
You
You don't stop when you come to the offensive line. You got to drive through it.
Now, he did reported by Deadline, he amicably walked away from the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. But
So he didn't light anything on
is
fire.
this a bad omen? Is my question. for
No,
this
I think
article.
Kevin Feige says it's like, look, the original script was shit. Just HBQB screen that to me, and I'll take it from here. There we go.
Well, I think they're more along the lines. They'll go with somebody else. Like maybe you get Sam Raimi.
That would be amazing. I would watch that, and I just don't think that there's any hope for Fantastic Four, but Sam Raimi does great things.
Like we're gonna see Doctor Strange, and from all pre-screenings, people are liking it.
Yeah.
Some of the overly critics, the worst screens I saw were like
going to see
at like a
Doctor
7 out of
Strange on
10.
Friday.
Like a 7 out of 10 was the worst I saw. Others I saw overall were like 9 out of 10. So it's looking like a good movie.
So the important question is would Bruce Campbell be in Fantastic Four then?
That would be a good segue, though. It would be a very good segue if Doctor Strange with Sam Raimi,
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell,
Yeah.
and then inviting in the Fantastic Four.
I would love to see that. We're already getting Patrick Stewart. We're already getting Captain Carter.
which
And we're
will-
getting the Illuminati.
Which will then
Really?
segue
The whole
into the
Illuminati?
Fantastic Four.
The whole
But-
Illuminati.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. Wow, that's
Well, Bruce Campbell needs to be in every Sam Raimi movie, though. At least like a cameo, but it would be great if he would be Ash, even though he refuses to play Ash again. He wants a new
They're going to
person.
allude to him playing as Ash.
I
though.
would love if they just have
They don't
like,
have to name him as the
you're
character.
going through the multiverse, they just have
Just
like
give
that
him a
they have that broken glass, and then it's just Bruce Campbell as Mysterio in one of the panels, and that's it. It could be the biggest panel of glass going through the scene, but that's it. That's his cameo, and you have to look for it.
He played as Ash's Poker Night in the inventory,
You
too.
don't have to.
It was amazing. It was awesome.
I saw his tour when he was going live through drive-in theaters. Like he was up in PA in 2020, and he actually just said, because the question was asked, "Are you ever going to play Ash again?" And he said he doesn't want to. He wants to direct, but he wants somebody new to come in and really take that role and make Ash a revitalized character. So I would be interested to see that and to see how he would come through as a cameo.
I would like to see that.
What better way
Reboot
to,
it.
What better way to revitalize Ash than to have Disney incept it into the MCU?
Yeah.
And to add him
be
into like the
amazing.
Illuminati and Fantastic Four. Here you go.
You're trying.
I'm
dude.
for
I'm
it.
really trying, man.
You're trying. You're pulling on that string, but careful, the line might snap.
It always does.
It's because you yank on it too hard. Giggity.
Stop.
So now Watts is being very, supportive, like, oh, they're going to do a great job. But let's be honest, this is an uphill battle for a Fantastic Four.
He's
movie.
giving the golf club.
Now, on the opposite end, it is also not that high of a bar.
No. No, because
really
they were
not.
like, I even had Michael B. Jordan as my last Fantastic Four movie, and it tanked.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Also, man, I mean, you look at the first Fantastic Four, that first movie was passable.
That's because we didn't have the MCU. Because you have to think, the first Fantastic Four movie was right after Spider-Man, but before Iron Man.
But fans still had the fucking balls on him to say, oh, he's got organic web shooters. That's bullshit. And now he's their favorite Spider-Man. Like, it's fucking Tobey Maguire. Suck dicks. Like, now you're okay with it. It's like you and Kat, we said past podcast, give me 10 years and then tell me how you feel.
Seriously.
It's been 10 years.
How do you feel? Still hurt?
It's a D- movie.
Show me on the cardboard, Kelly, where it touched you.
Wow, all the way down
All
there.
the way down there. Yeah, that's bad. Another thing that's bad. What's this next story?
That was a good segue.
Thank you, Connor. So, the CW has canceled Batwoman after three seasons, and they also canceled Legends of Tomorrow finally.
I think this is kind of like the death rattle with the
It blends
acquisition.
in so well.
That's
that they
why
canceled
I
Legends
added
of
it in
Tomorrow.
here.
So this kind of like this. This
So-
is like the death rattle with the acquisition of Discovery Plus and.
Well, let me
Warner
throw
Media.
this. Let me throw this in that. When did you stop watching CW shows?
With Legends of Tomorrow, it's an awful show.
God, it is.
It's so terrible. I tried so hard because I was like, oh, this is great. It incorporates a lot of characters. I got 2 episodes in and I just wanted to rip the screen and throw it out the window. It was awful.
I can do you one better. I've never watched a single show of it.
Now, first
Oh,
off,
you're lucky. That's a positive.
now Arrow season 1 was good.
I've watched up to
Yeah.
season 4 and I was good.
Flash season 1, and I'll even go to season 2 was good.
That's where I
Yeah.
stopped.
I would agree.
Supergirl was.
I can't stand Supergirl.
God,
It
I
was
can't.
terrible.
I did
couldn't do
season
it.
1 and that was it.
I did season 1. I couldn't hold on to that. It was just like, oh, you got the crossover, and I don't know who the fuck these
Just-
people are.
They were just terrible. Like they wrote her character terrible.
yeah.
She had no purpose. I also really hate Superman in general. So like the whole universe of Superman is pretty terrible.
Now,
Yes.
Superman and Lois, they at that HBO Max show, they actually took Superman in an interesting way because they took that same Superman from the CW verse, but they gave him and that Lois a show to where they have kids. And it's like one's super, one's not. They're involving that Superman, his lineage is being questioned, and to whether he is the good guy or not. Having that more complex Superman is a lot more welcoming than all the shit we've seen before, to where he's just America's Boy Scout.
I actually
that's it.
like Brightburn, Red Sun, Superman.
Brightburn was really good, and that was the gun,
Yeah, I think that was Gunn.
not Kevin.
Not
A different
Kevin,
Gunn.
Not Kevin Gunn from WMMR.
No.
What about Lush?
He might have been involved. I'm probably going to say no, though.
Yeah, but he can't travel any farther. Well, we shouldn't share that information.
So,
Sorry, it's inside. We shouldn't. I shouldn't burn Kreischer.
now Batwoman. The
Oh,
first,
click on multi-stream on the OBS, by the way.
the first Batwoman on the first season with Ruby Rose. I didn't mind that first season because it was pretty good. I hung in on most of the first season of that, especially with they added Alice. Batman's gone. You have fucking, Lucas Fox. You have a nice little whodunit, what's going on area in there, and then I just stopped caring.
I took your word for it, but I never watched the show.
Yeah.
Which is what I usually do with our friendship anyway.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's probably why we lasted so long. It's probably why, you got to know the other person. Know your audience. But
It's a good litmus test.
some people would consider this sad news. I see this. I know people are probably like, "Oh, you're a dick, Batman." No, I see it as good news.
When a door
Get-
closes, a window opens.
Everything on HBO Max now. Right fucking now. Get all your shit on HBO Max. Get all your superheroes onto that platform because you have Paramount. They have Star Trek. And guess what, bud? They got new seasons of new shows of that shit coming out like fucking candy. You have to put up with them to where even Netflix is like, we lost 200,000 people. Meanwhile, Paramount's like, really? We just gained 55 million. Isn't that crazy? We just put out Halo.
Here's Halo.
Halo, which is a great ass show.
It is awesome.
So I bought Paramount Plus happily.
For you to buy something.
Happily.
Oh my God.
Because I hate ads. Fucking hate ads.
No, the floor is not on fire.
It's the ads.
Yeah, it's just that PTS ad popping up. Just, God, I remember when I had to sit through ads. So horrible. They're trying to sell me Viagra. My dick works. I don't need it. It was horrible.
I think
That's just like
This next story.
this next story.
Well, this next story is actually an A
That
plus
is a-
idea, which is once again one of the worst segues into
You
our
need
ad
to
segment
read
ever.
your copy, man.
Look, man, Big Brother sets me up for the fucking layup. I just slam dunk it. I don't care.
That's not what you want to say right now.
Giggity. But the thing that I did want to highlight here,
You like the way you work it, no giggity.
I'm going to back it up. While old man chokes on the beer, he's trying to sip down to fucking wash that through his memory.
That's what it is.
Sponsor sip. So, I want you to go over to A Plus Catering. They got a website. What does that say, Big Brother? Their URL?
A+ caterers.
There we go. .com.
A+caterers.com.
They got the website. Scroll up, hop over to that motherfucking gallery because, they got a portfolio and sample menus. You can book them.
So we are
For your
trying to
next
get
event.
them for a couple events in the near future.
Top secret event.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get some of the logistics lined out. But if everything works out, they'll benefit, we'll benefit, and everything will work out.
Because you look at this food,
They'll
and
benefit. Our
you
stomachs
want to
will
jump
benefit.
through your screen right
It'll be
now
good. Everything will go to the moon. It'll be great.
and grab this delicious food because they have some top-notch food and expertly crafted, too, to where you look at those marshmallow shooters, man. You want to grab it right now. That's what it is. It's A+ idea that'll lead anybody that's going up to that grazing table to lean over to you and say, hey, where'd you find these guys? And then you get the pleasure of saying, well, I found them on a little podcast called the Triford Podcast on Purge Hangers and Wall Hangers. And guess what? I uttered code word justice for 0% off.
Justice.
No, it's justice. That's how he says it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Otherwise, she won't let go. You're like, nah, you're faking it. You could,
Catwoman doesn't let up,
No.
See on TikTok.
She's just dumb.
and she'll give you the whip.
But there's no whipping to get you over to this grazing table because these guys will leave you 5 pounds heavier than when you walked in because of all the delicious food you're going to be getting. And you're going to be overall happy with the result. We've been pushing these guys forever. They're an official LLC. They got a website. They're doing great.
Please
fucking happy for them.
Please plan to put this in your workout routine to work this off.
Yeah. After they cater your event, you're going to have to block off at least a week or two to work off that food you worked on. Giggity. So that's our little ad there for them because they are amazing people and we want you to be happy, healthy, and full. A lot like this next story because it's not full of shit.
That was a good segue.
Full of shit?
I have the button.
Yeah, no.
You can't veto when I hit the button. I already hit it. It happened. I made my judgment.
This
A
is
lot
not
like-
Robin Burgundy. It's not 60% of the time, 100% of the time, okay?
If I just ignore you, it could be. A lot like Ubisoft couldn't ignore the leaks coming out on Skull and Bones because they announced this back in 2017.
Yeah, it's been a while for this game.
Good fucking Lord. They finally talked to Kotaku.
Who do they think they are? Star Citizen? I mean, they started programming it in the 386.
Are
days,
you
and they
aware of
still
Star
been working
Citizen
on it.
that?
Yeah.
Everyone.
Utter dejection. I see
Everyone.
that face. Utter dejection. All right,
Everyone
yeah,
knows
We're aware.
of Robert Space Industries.
Okay.
It's the only
So-
industry that won't go to space before everybody else.
They're working on it. They're
I mean,
doing something.
we'll get Elon to the moon, and even Mars before.
No, it's kind of out. Sort of.
I don't need to hit the button again, but the overall joke
What's
is
the ship over here?
So if you scroll down, we actually get a little bit of the leaked footage. It leaked out on the Twitter, and then Ubisoft just said, you know, we're just going to release it too. So they put it out on their Twitter too. That's it. Other side. There you go.
That's it?
That's it. Stay tuned.
Shit.
So
Look at this.
this game became heir apparent after the naval mechanic in Assassin's Creed 4 and Assassin's Creed 3.
Do you think that's why it took them so long to make it, to where maybe they thought we'd forget that came out and we'd think that this is a new idea?
They had to accurately program the bottom of the sea floor. 1 to 1. What's wrong with that?
They had
It's
to have
an
the-
ocean game.
They
You
had
need
to-
the sea floor.
They had to have the accurate ocean currents on the bottom of the sea floor as well as the top. You know, they had to equate out for time. They can't go looking at the natural sea out there because that's not the time to
They
where
had
the
to-
pirates were cruising, and they got to have it accurate.
No Man's Sky, the Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah.
Not like when you're programming, they start with an endless water level.
No, that would be too easy.
That
Why
would
you
be
do
too,
that.
That
for?
would be too human for
Plop
the
a few
Xbox.
islands on it, call it a game. Call yourself Bethesda.
There's a voiceover.
Look, we made a map. Make a game out of it. Fuck you. We love you a lot. Fuck you.
Ah,
Here
we
you
love-
go. Make your own game.
We love you.
Hey, guess what? It's Fallout 76.
We love you. Here's a map. Make your own game. Pay $60, fucker. So in this video, the voiceover explains that some of the core details of Skull and Bones. There's a stat called infamy used to gauge how good players are at being a pirate.
Okay.
That sounds amazing.
That's
So,
real
how realistic is it, though?
Like, are we going One Piece pirates? Like, are we going cartoon pirates? Like, I'm going to be a good pirate. Like, kid,
Well,
you
what's
don't
the rating
understand what they
here?
did.
What's the rating on it? Because I think that depends on what type of pirate you're going to be. 'cause
Triple
it's historically
X.
accurate.
If being a shitty pirate is being a good person, like, are we just flipping that? Like, is that what they're doing? Like, no, he is a great pirate.
Like, I'm going to be
Don't
shitty
bring
to
the kids near him.
everybody else except for the people on my ship. Sure.
Well, I mean,
Unless they
the
fuck up,
people
then
on their ship, if they mess up, they get dragged behind the ship or abandoned on a desert island. So
or
there's
put on
that.
the put on
Can
the
we
bow.
have a character creation
Yeah,
where
that's
we
the,
can
the
create
keel
Batman?
hauling.
They
They
put the
could
keel hauling, and then you just, oh my god, and then you're fucking just eating.
So is there
salt water.
pillaging? Like, is it just you're going to steal shit?
Like
And
Sid
that's
Meier's
it.
Pirates.
Well,
Now-
That's
watch the
essentially what they're
trailer
making.
again.
The
Is it like GTA Pirates? Is that
essentially, is it Sea of
Well-
Thieves but better? But
Pretty much.
Here, we can watch the
there's
trailer
a
again.
little bit. There's only a little bit. Players can increase their infamy by raiding ships, completing contracts, finding hidden treasure. So you will have that kind of like Sea of Thieves thing in there. Just
Okay.
better graphics. It's Ubisoft.
And not rare.
Higher tiers of infamy grant players access to more difficult bounties and contracts, and failure will result in the loss of some infamy. You start off with a modest pirate ship that they can upgrade and scavenge materials. It's the captain's job to ensure their ship is stocked with food, water, and ammo, lest they run the risk of crew mutiny for lack of provisions, because nobody wants to freak out when they got scurvy.
That's what oranges are for.
Well, if you don't
There's a lot
fucking
of
buy
stuff going
oranges,
on.
bud, you're gonna
It's
get.
slightly
Well,
more-
actually, they
I
probably
mean,
don't die.
that's what Sid
what
Meier's
helps.
Pirates was. That's all it is. It's just,
Just-
Ubisoft versions of Sid Meier's
just a
Pirates.
bit better.
Not really.
Look, Ubisoft has some amazing water mechanics. Guess what?
Some shit
90% of that game is water. So you're gonna be looking at water and be like, "Oh my god, that looks like real water," and you're gonna love it.
Just like, what? Never mind.
Good.
Just like this next story.
Oh yeah, they also had a whole bunch of HR complaints, so people are also blaming that on why it was so long to make.
But
Well,
we don't operate on
it's
the
really
negative here.
hard to
Like a lot of the
program.
gaming industry. I mean, if we were to focus on that, we'd have like 5 podcasts on everybody who got touched.
It would be 7 hours long.
Very uncomfortable podcast.
Yeah, but something else that's not uncomfortable
Show me on the controller where they touched you.
is this next story. Because Star Wars, The Mandalorian MMO is in the works at Xbox.
So we go from water to sand.
According to Skullsy and Nick Baker, Star Wars
So you went from
Mandalorian.
Scalzi to Nick Baker.
Yeah. Nick Baker. He's the nice boy down the street. He told me they're working on a Mandalorian MMO. Sounds like something that your grandma would tell you. Like, oh, Nick Baker. Fuck, this guy knows what he's talking about. Grandma told me that they're making an MMO on The Mandalorian.
Meanwhile, you walk right by the bowl of butterscotch.
You have to grab a Werther's Original.
The Werther's Original was fine, but not like the old, like...
Oh, the
Yeah,
off-brand? No.
yeah.
Grab the Werther's. Go stick for the
Talking
Werther's.
about the purse candy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's only like 2 Werther's in the bowl, and then there's that other off-brand
Wait.
shit.
Here's a mint from 1964.
So, the other kind of weird thing about this story is this Mandalorian MMO, according to Nick Baker, it was reported last year that apparently Xenobomax Online Studio will be working on this game, Xenobomax. Everybody will remember from the Elder Scrolls Online or ESO games.
Oh, Zebamax.
Xenobomax, yeah.
Didn't
Just like Bethesda. They're actually the same company,
let
owned by
X-
Microsoft. We add a couple extra letters until they get the fucking game right.
Yeah, they're a bit buggy in places.
Yeah.
Like you fall through.
Didn't
the
we
ground
have an
for
idea
eternity.
about a Mandalorian MMO where the moral of the game was just to go hunt for Beskar?
Well, look, our idea, they didn't pay for, so we can keep that to ourselves.
Okay.
We can let this shitty game fucking go, and then they can call us like, man, oh man, you guys are right. We need your help. That would be so awesome. Fucking awesome.
That'll be
would-
the
that
first
would be
people
great.
they'll call.
Yeah.
You heard it.
Oh yeah, they're gonna call us first, obviously. You know, obviously, first on their call list is Bert Kreischer, and then me.
Yeah, in that order.
In that order.
Machine, we need you.
Can't get him. Get the Matt Man on the phone now.
Which one?
The Matt Man. The. Actually, it's PJ and WH_Mattman. But Scalzi was the one that added the MMO part to this game. But last year we did know that they were kind of thinking maybe there's a rumor of a Mandalorian game. Now we know they are working on a said Mandalorian game. Now, whether this will actually turn out the way I've said, like Daredevil or other games, we don't know. But Mandalorian, do you want this? Even if a Mandalorian game, okay, an MMO on a Mandalorian, you're obviously, if you're an MMO, you're going to have a character creator. You are part of the Mandalorian race. Where would you like to see this game set on Mandalore time-wise? Do you want it before the Purge? Do you want it in the Old Republic where they're fucking, you got Mandalorians and Jedi fighting each other? Do you want it in our Mandalorian's timeline? Where do you want to see this Mandalorian game?
I think you
I'll
start
take
at
all.
the end of the Purge, you know? So it really like sets up the storyline, but then you can have kind of that post-Purge panic, and you still have a lot of characters to choose from, because the current Mandalorian's timeline, you know, there's only so many characters you can choose from. That's not a great MMO when you're talking about the amount of people that would play.
Yeah.
Where instead you could have everybody starting kind of in a chaotic battle scene, and that's your starting point, and you can kind of go from there.
I like that one because you get then the sense of like, you know, after the Purge, another good one would be the Mandalorian Civil War.
Yeah.
That would be like those interesting points, those tipping points in Mandalorian culture, I feel would be the points that you would want to focus on the game, because you have like the Mandalorian Jedi War, obviously from the Old Republic. The Mandalorians were made to fight the Jedi. Like they fucking equipped themselves to be like, oh, I gotta fucking fight a wizard.
So I can do you one better.
Where do you begin to prep for fighting a wizard, by the way?
So my idea
Like a
would
warlock.
be
He just had the answer so quickly.
he did have the answer.
You get a warlock, obviously. These fucking noobs.
A big one too.
Did you hear the story of Dark Plagueis the Wise? No, my idea is that you start out, and then at the end of your first act, you find a foundling to train. And then at the second act, you start as that foundling.
Because then you're the OP guy as the tutorial, and then you go into the I just lost my powers logically. That's awesome.
And then
I like that.
And then 2 into 3, the same rinse and repeat until you get to like end of 5 would be the end of the game, and then it's the end where you're.
Well, that's when they cut with him playing that wood instrument.
Yep.
And that's how the soundtrack got made.
Yep.
It's like I was there.
But that's my idea.
I like all of our ideas. I just hope that this game is at least a fraction of what we came up with.
I
All
think
ideas-
finding the Beskar should be a side quest.
You will randomly fall
At
to the
least a
ground
side
for
quest.
no reason.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
all Beskar is a way to entice the
See, here's the thing.
Mandalorian for jobs
This
because
is
they
the
know
thing.
we'll get them done.
this is the thing, to where if you have it early on in the Star Wars timeline, you have Beskar is almost like the currency. After the Purge, it's like an Easter egg
I have to
because the Empire has it all.
I have to throw this out there. All ideas presented by Projangers and Wall Hangers are copyright material from Projangers and Wall Hangers LLC.
No, he's talking about lore.
Fuck you.
Oh yeah. But
Copyright Star Wars.
it's one of those things to where I see the Beskar kind of floating like any kind of currency in a game, to where it could float between an actual currency or an Easter egg, to where you have to overtly go out of your way and hunt and search every nook and cranny for, to where it would give you a certain benefit.
Yeah, there's specialized jobs that will just pay in Beskar, and then there's
It could be the premium currency, like you see in the MMOs.
then there's currency that you can trade for it, and then there's currency that you can
credits,
actually
Beskar,
buy. Yeah.
and then you have your premium status, to where then your MMO has legs, to where you can actually make money as a company. You can keep pushing out stuff like the Old Republic does.
Oh yeah,
Keep
you can
pushing out
subscribe
stuff.
just for Beskar.
A Beskar armor, like Mando Beskar armor
And
subscription and staff and all these little trinkets.
And
You
Darksaber.
have people fucking lining up to do that. If you still had to line up for anything.
And one of the end game credits is King of the Hill, which would be who owns the Darksaber.
That would be so dope. We got to stop giving away ideas and go on to the next story.
Yeah, we do.
Because somebody else is scooping up ideas.
So
That was a good segue.
yes, they are.
Square Enix sells studios behind Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, and more to Embracer Group
So I have to append this story
for $300 million. That, by end of said signing deal, they will have $300 million up front.
correct.
That's how good they're doing.
So
Good for you.
The IPs attached to this is like Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, and
It's like over 50 titles.
Legacy of Kain, Marvel Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, and various other things.
Did you say Thief?
Yes.
Okay.
What I also wanted to append to this story is that there is a rumor going around that Sony may acquire Square Enix.
How, like, with all this buying, we're in an oligarchy at this point, right? We got like a couple big companies holding on to the main titles and the main IP.
Sony's got Bungie,
and it's like Bill Gates in the 90s. Like, if you have something good, I'm buying it, bud.
well, I mean, because the companies have realized that software is where it's at. So it's not the hardware. It's not what you do, with the physical.
Yeah, no,
product.
it's the person, the grunt, who's sitting there working the 70 hours a week making that crystal polished game that you're like, good job. I would never
We all
fucking
learned
do
in
that.
the 80s. Windows.
So I just
Thank you for inserting my job here.
No problem.
Dick. Anytime. So Embracer is embracing all these new studios, and they had that meet and greet meeting to where they're seeing where things are going. Crystal Dynamics,
If they
obviously.
ask you for a cappuccino, say no. It just doesn't sound right. Just saying. Just the name makes me think. Maybe
Okay.
not. It might embracer you in the wrong way. No?
If they ask for a hug, say no.
Macchiato.
Why are my pants untucked?
Crystal Dynamics, remember them?
I think that's the title of the podcast. Macchiato Pants Untucked.
Crystal Dynamics.
At least
is
it's the TikTok.
the studio behind the recent Tomb Raider reboot. which everybody liked.
So Shadow of the Tomb Raider took 3 years. So Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
It's just when they put out Marvel's Avengers that everybody's like, "You suck."
So keep in mind, Shadow of the Tomb Raider cost 118 to make, grossed finally in year 3 130 million. So in year 3 it finally turned a profit, which is the reason why Square Enix is releasing these IPs, because a lot of these larger IPs, they take 3.5, 4 years to turn a profit.
When Rocksteady released Batman Arkham Asylum, it had everybody singing like fucking Rod Stewart, like Rocksteady. When Crystal Dynamics released Marvel's Avengers, everybody's like, I don't even want to say your name. Nobody wanted to touch it. Me and Big Brother, we had the Let's Play with Your Pajangers we played that through, and we went as far as we could. We played with it as far as we could, Giggity.
That's because there's two differences between Arkham and Marvel Avengers. One, a live action
was good.
game, a live action, like a live service game, can only go so far. A live service game, which Marvel Avengers was, requires DRM service, requires
and everybody wanted to do
requires all those things.
That live service game because of Destiny and all those other games that we got to get
Destiny
on that live
set
service.
the bar to an unrealistic level. Bungie would kind of put that bar up high.
A whole bunch of fucking nerds that would just literally do nothing but play that game.
The grind. Was,
it is a good game, but
It's a
the
good
grind,
game.
the grind is ridiculous.
The grind was very unrelenting
You were going to the same 5 fucking locations forever.
until
And
they released
that's what
the
you
DLC.
did. And then you visited those too.
Until the Iron Banner came out, and then it kind of like leveled anything. So
And don't get me wrong, I played Destiny 2. I loved that game. It was a really good game. But I also noticed that about it. Like, we're in the same 5 fucking places. And then as soon as you get done something, you're like, all right, we got to run to the next place. All right. Bam, 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 bam. Run to the next place. And you got to run with all these fucking random strangers like you're a fucking herd of random llama. What the fuck is going on here? I don't care. Bam, 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 bam.
no,
I had
you
fun,
have to. No, you have to kill. You have to kill 100 enemies with this gun. No, you have to kill 100 enemies with your auto gun. No, you have to kill 100 enemies with your pulse gun. Like, no, you have to kill 100 enemies with your sword.
It's like they tried to combat that PvP to where like, nah, man, this is a live service game. Everybody will just get together PvE style. Everybody will work in coordination, and everybody's just fucking running to every other place.
You know
and
what?
Then you got one objective you have never done. Nobody is the fuck around for hours.
10% of the people are
Hours.
nice on video games. 90% are dicks.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
a lot of fun. And then you get to, if you, depending on what time of day you're playing, you get to hear people from other countries curse at you for what you're doing wrong.
yeah.
Yep.
And that's where you
Destiny
learn
2.
the swear words.
The mechanics for jumping took me a bit to get down for Destiny 2, and all of the people that were in my group on my chat were from Ireland. I got some very colorful accents for a good
Did you get it in Gaelic?
they were getting there.
PC or console?
It was console. We all did PlayStation 4.
Okay.
So, as far as the story, is there a certain title that you would want to see Embracer put out here, but good? Obviously,
First-
besides Marvel's Avengers.
First, what really needs to, like, a rebirth? Legacy of Kain.
Yeah. 100%.
In order, it'd be Legacy of Kain, Deus Ex, Tomb Raider. No. Legacy of Kain, Deus Ex, Thief, Tomb Raider.
I would have put Thief before Deus Ex because they already tried Deus Ex recently. The recent Thief, I feel, wasn't as warmly accepted as Deus Ex was.
It was a big letdown. That came in a time when they had like 2 or 3 other kind of similar games, and they were all trying to be exactly the same.
That's why I say Thief should be
Thief,
behind the in the back
I mean, look,
bar.
Deus Ex, I just feel like there's a kind of like a flood of that kind of media to where Thief something to where you have to get back to like that old school medieval style gameplay, having that, and obviously we already agree with Legacy of Kain.
Yes, but like I want Deus Ex to kind of still rival Cyberpunk.
Well, it's not a rival if they were always better.
I think it's still a rivalry.
Still a rivalry.
Yeah, but
One
they're just
person
better. So why
gets
do
their ass.
what? You needed them to stay above.
But
Cyberpunk, even if they tried to do another game, would take another 10 years, even for it to get right. I haven't even bothered logging that fucking game up on that.
It's
thing.
actually stable.
The- Cyberpunk
Well,
is
you
really
haven't
good
tried
if
it
you
on
have
20
the
or
newer
28.
systems. If you have the newer systems, Cyberpunk played fine and didn't have the same issues that every other console had, though. Like most people didn't have the newer systems.
Big Brother only had
I-
minor
I
problems.
played through it twice, and I didn't have any problems.
Maybe some minor graphical things, but you didn't care about that shit.
No, not really.
So I mean, it was fine for him. I mean, but that's an easy sale right there. With that premise of Cyberpunk,
I played.
All you
my
had to
stuff
do
in
was have a
800 by
fucking
600
massive game.
resolution.
all you had to do was have a massive game, and he's just like, good
It was for
story,
the
good
custom
premise, good
penis.
gameplay.
The story was good.
It was a good story, but
Yes.
it's one of those things that just that won't do it. To where if you have a buggy launch in this day and age, it will kill your game. No Man's
Yeah.
Sky was almost a fluke story of everybody shitting on that game, and then a bunch of people coming back and actually having fun.
Yeah, Diablo 3 was a product of that as well when it first came out in 2013.
Yeah, I mean there are some success stories, but ultimately, look at Anthem. They tried.
No, they just gave up. They
Well-
didn't even try.
It was a toddler who didn't know how to swim. At first, they start to flail, but then they give up because they don't fucking know and they're dead.
But that necessarily wasn't BioWare's fault. That was EA's fault because they released Apex Legends a week before Anthem's launch. And so they pulled resources from Anthem, launched Apex Legends because now you have a live action
So you're telling
shooter
me
game.
months before launch, that game would have automatically gotten like 40% of the shit they promised in it if they didn't pull resources in a couple months.
If they didn't pull resources, like if
It
Apex
would have been
Legends wasn't-
less shitty. Let's be honest.
It would have been less shitty, but if Apex Legends wasn't on that same like time to launch,
You got to look at the frame of mind at that time was everybody was focused on live service games because that's the shiny ball.
you could have waited 6 months for Apex Legends, though.
That would have taken forethought. We already know these gaming companies don't do that. Well, not all of them. But Guardians of the Galaxy, to put a little feather in Square Enix's cap. Not only am I playing through it, like I mentioned
It's a
before,
great game.
It's a great game. Best, what is it? It took home Game Award for Best Narrative Game Award in 2021.
It's a shame that it just didn't do well commercially.
But
So what game would you want to see as like a virtual reality platform since they're really trying to push that where you would be able to be in the game in an open world play?
Spider-Man. First person.
Spider-Man.
First person.
they already tried the Iron Man, which a lot of people were actually very pleased with that little VR Iron Man game.
My history of childhood epilepsy says no.
You don't want the Spider-Man VR? It's first person game. You can like web shoot and actually swing.
Only if he can play that game on your carpet.
That's right.
Yeah,
Probably don't
you're just
really-
gonna throw up. Immediate
You know what?
motion sickness.
Apparently now you don't need to play it.
It's not a good idea anymore.
I guess not.
I'll play the VR game without the headset and without the VR.
Oh, okay.
So you're just gonna walk around
I'll walk around
and pretend to be Spider. You're gonna be that weird guy walking down the street.
and I'll just
Swip.
just run into invisible
Swip.
walls, but there'll be walls.
As he skips down the.
He's gonna be
Go to
skipping down the
Times Square,
street
you'll be completely normal.
every time he
It's
skips.
Delco. It's fine.
Oh no, that's a Tuesday. Look, when I was
Yeah.
coming home with this cardboard guy behind me, okay, I had about 5 of the same guy right in my passenger seat, and I thought, I'm going 3 blocks.
I used to live 3 blocks away from him.
I'm going 3 blocks. Who's going to see me? Apparently, everybody in the neighborhood decided to walk that day, and everybody's looking at me.
Toward a hurricane coming at us that day.
Looking at me with looking like a fucking, like I'm the weirdo.
Meanwhile, this is in his passenger seat like this.
Yeah, like I'm the weirdo with a cardboard cutout of a random guy. All right? I mean, I think that's a little bit of profiling.
So my theory is that Gritty is the embodiment of Delco, and that's what we deserve. So
Is it the name and everything? That really, yeah, no, I'll allow that.
I
That
still
makes
like
sense.
he also looks like he's had a lot of meth. Put out on the
I
ice.
still think Gritty is Scott Hartnell in the suit.
A lot like my car. My TL. I hit a deer the other day, and I have a 12 TL. And if you look at a 12 TL, it has this ugly gray like arrow in the front grill. The deer did me the favor of literally just taking that out.
No airflow problems now.
I got no airflow problems.
Airflow.
Great airflow, and
The engine's nice and
I
cool.
blend in with the rest of Delco. I saw
You
another
see
guy,
the radiator.
dude. I saw another guy on my way home. I felt privileged. He didn't have a bumper at all. He didn't have a bumper at all, and I was only missing a small portion. I felt like a winner.
You too can
Moving
feel
up
like
in the
a
world.
winner if you go over to PJANDWH.
You can hit the contact us and let us know your winning stories.
Tell us about your winning wiener or whatever you got going on.
The end segment is what we always
Let
end
us
off
know
on.
if you have a front bumper or rear bumper on your car.
Or on your person.
It would be a luggy and nutty ride, and then you'd be on lug nuts every
We'll put
Sunday.
it in Matt's favorite.
Unless we
bag
don't
of-
have stories. But we end off this podcast every single week the same damn way with the end segment. Big Brother came up with this one.
Because it's May.
If there were to be an animated Star Wars show set after episode 1, what would it be about? My first choice, I have to say it, is I would go along that Joker vein of I would then focus on Count Dooku and Emperor Palpatine in that series, to where then you would see how Palpatine crafted, like how he replaced Maul, where he found Dooku, where he heard of him, and then how he crafted him into sculpting ultimately his real apprentice that he wanted, Anakin. And all that manipulation, I feel like, would be that kind of Joker mindset that would be, you could still pull it off with Disney because it's Palpatine, it's Dooku, it's everybody that you know, but it's looking at it from that side of the spectrum that we've never gotten before. And that was my ultimate of what I would want to see in between 1 and 2. Because in between 1, Anakin is a little kid, and then 2, he's a whiny bitch.
You get to see that age progression between 10 and 16. So like
They could
pegging
have
around-
the Peter Brady, like, puberty episode? Obi-Wan! Something's wrong with my voice and the Force.
Why do I have acne?
That was Anakin in Clone Wars.
Nat, you go.
So, well, I was just going to give some bullshit about adding He-Man and Skeletor into it, but your idea was actually pretty great. Would you include, any other characters in it that you wouldn't think, like any other timelines besides the manipulation of Anakin?
You know what, man? I would almost like that series to go outside of the main timeline and use the Force veil that we've seen in like a different way, to where he ultimately, like, Vader's about to fucking chuck him over the balcony and he's just like, Falcon Punch! And then Falcon Roy steps in to fucking boom, DDT him, you know? And that's how Falcon Roy gets more work.
Okay. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you.
But that's where I was going with that.
I'm just befuddled.
That was the overall goal I was going for. What is your idea?
My idea is Mace Windu, but all in a conveyance of motherfuckers.
Okay. I
That's
mean,
what-
that Mace Windu, anything story would be great with Star Wars now.
Yeah, I mean, with a resurgence of that would be perfect right now. With
I
the
would
Obi-Wan
almost
series coming out.
accept a series, right, to where all those masters on the Jedi Council, including the one from Kamino that apparently randomly disappeared between 1 and 2, because in episode 1, you see a Kaminoan, the weird alien with a long fucking giraffe neck. You see him sitting on the council, and then all of a sudden on episode 2, they're like, "Where's this planet? We've never seen this planet before." Like, one of those fuckers were just on the council last fucking movie, man. What the fuck are you pulling? Everybody
not
have
the
amnesia?
Jedi Master you're looking for.
Does nobody remember Janine? She was sitting here 2 minutes ago.
What do you mean?
And that would almost be another great one. That fucking Jedi they say has like schizophrenia or is like fucking crazy. I'm like, Janine was here, man. She was Kaminoan. I swear. That would be fucking great material.
No, so my serious one would be, what if Count Dooku was just swerving Palpatine to work for the Jedi?
It did not work in the end.
No,
didn't work
but
for
like
him.
It
ultimately,
did not work. But you have
ultimately-
that fucking like that detective story where he goes undercover.
no, because originally he
It
went
just doesn't go in his way.
he went dark side,
Yeah.
but he never turned full hate because his eyes never turned yellow. Because that's a barometer of like being fully turned to the dark side.
Well, that would
And
kind of
then-
just aid my idea to where, like, Palpatine's like, oh, no, you're just a puppet. Oh, this guy has hate. See that? That's hate right there.
But between a master and an apprentice of the dark arts, there is that veil of mystery between both of them. Because even Vader had that between.
Well, yeah, I mean, and even when you look at, like, the Star Wars comic lines, Vader and Palpatine were not buddy-buddy. They had their problems. Like, Vader was very much trying to fuck over Palpatine
I mean,
and control
they
the
were
galaxy
always
at
in
any
marriage.
point.
They were always in
They had
marriage,
a abusive father-son relationship. That's
Now,
what, that's what
Emperor
it was.
Palpatine, would you tell Lord Vader how you really feel? We need a new therapist. And for that, you die. You know, it wouldn't turn out well. So maybe no couples counseling for Vader and Palpatine. But as an easy layup I saw to this would be that those transformative years between Obi-Wan and Anakin, to where you just assume it was okay. You know, Obi-Wan could actually look at Anakin and be like, you're not going to be a Darth Lord of the Sith. You know, there was hope in Obi-Wan's eyes, like, this kid might actually work out right. Oh, Qui-Gon's going to be so proud of me.
Could you make that?
And then you have Morgan Freeman's voice. Little did he know, Qui-Gon would not be proud at all.
It would be interesting to see him trying to do normal parenting things too. Like the normal things that you would come up while you're having a whiny child that you're trying to show the Force to.
Anakin, stop playing with your toys in the other room. Fuck you, Obi-Wan. He's fucking playing. He's playing video games in the other room. He fucking force pushes him into a closet because he's stronger than him. Be like having a child who's a fucking bodybuilder. Like, guess what, Dad? I don't think so. Like, okay, son, that's great too. I just turned that into the wrong. That was the different kind of master-servant relationship there. It was slipping into
we're
BDSM.
not being subservient to the thank yous. So going to that,
We end off the podcast the same way
Special thanks to Jar Jar Binks.
for not being the worst thing in Star Wars that's mentioned
for not
this
being
podcast.
a Sith
To
Lord.
do a series on the fan theory that he was secretly like puppeting from the background.
I like that
It would
one,
be horrible, but great.
but I also like I think it was in like one of the extended universe novels to where they just randomly run across Jar Jar in the story, and he's like he's homeless, he's on the street, he's trying to be like a fucking clown to get some money, and everybody just shits on him because
He's
he fucking
secretly
let
a
the
pimp.
Empire in.
He's secretly a pimp.
And on to the thank yous like a pimp. Thank you to Amy Tucker. God, that was bad. Thank you to Amy. That was a horrible segue. I'm not hitting the button on that one. Otherwise, Amy won't come on next week. Thank you, Amy. As well as A+ Catering and Events.
You had 2 horrible segues today.
I'll line them up and knock them down myself, man. Thank you to Wolfman Hal, Mark Gervais, and our man Frank One Punch Percy. And to you, Loyal Walljanger, as well as Natalie. We hope to have you on again. Of course.
Yeah.
This is none other than a long drawn out goodbye. I am your host, Matthew Bugrell, the Mat Man. To my left is Christopher Bristow, the old man in the Perjanger box, our special Perjanger, Natalie, as well as our omnipotent presence that is producer, Big Brother Stephen Bucarell, and our mascot, hero of time, Link Diablo. I didn't forget you, man. Of course, as always, we love you. We miss you. We want to see you next week. Until then, game on, boys and girls. Bye-bye.
Oh, no, we're going to end it.
Shutting it off.
Oh, my gosh. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Play on my Changers. That was a good segue. Our Island Kelly.
And that's the show.
That's how we do it.
Fun.
Did you have a good
That's
time?
awesome. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun.
Right, you're more than welcome to come anytime.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Pop,
awesome.
pop her in the
Yeah, you guys-
in the Triforce chat.
In the Triforce chat?
Yeah.
So next week we're doing it Wednesday because next Tuesday is my son's birthday. Normally we go Tuesdays, but
Oh,
next Tuesday he'll be 6. So
wow.
we're
my
doing.
my kids are 17 and 18, so I'm like, they've missed those little ages.
My older ones are 19 and 16. So
No, they're not. They're not that old.
Already?
I'm not that old.
Yeah.
I'm not that old.
Yeah.
Dude, am I that old?
I'm not that old.
Yeah.
I remember when
My
they were
older ones
that
are
big.
19
No,
and
no, 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 no.
16.
No, they were this big.
No,
She
wait,
is
no,
graduating
no.
high school this year.
No, man. She
Yeah,
was
my
like,
son's in college.
Yeah.
she
But
was.
how old is your niece now? Because I remember making her yell Wookiee songs in the back.
She is 21.
Ah,
So she's still singing Wookiee
Les-
songs in the back of a bar.
Leslie is 21. She just turned 21 in October last year.
right in the age.
Yeah. That hits you right. in
That's
the
when
gut,
you're
doesn't
singing
it?
Wookiee songs into the porcelain bowl. We were like, oh, I'll never do that again. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
But yeah. So Wednesday next week, because Tuesday we're going to Sky Zone.
Haha.
Connor told me to, if you wanted to come, invite you.
I know. He's my main man. His son would just randomly decide on a weekend that
I'm gonna go talk to Matt,
we're going to go talk to Matt.
and we're gonna right now.
Right now, it'd be like 9 a.m. He'd be like, hey, me and Connor are on our way over. Ding dong. Like, I'm in my bathrobe. Be like, all right, Connor, what's going on, bud? He's like, what punch?
He's been up for hours.
My brain's booting up. Like, yeah, one punch. All right, man. Although it was really nice how he used to pick out all the rocks and toss them back into the little rock trough.
Nobody does that anymore.
Nobody does that. Nobody takes care of our.
Well,
take care of
that's
our
what
rocks.
happens when I move away.
I'll pay him. So, might as well go to the. I have the live folder already queued up this week. If you go to the the second tab up, the Google tab, I should say.
One, the fucking thing.
No, the second one. So that way you didn't have to load off of projectors. Try to be thoughtful. But first thing in the live folder is
Hold on.
that 90s show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that 90s show is they're getting the That 70s Show people. You know,
-1.
yeah, they're getting Topher Grace, Laura Prompon, Mila Kunis.
Laura Prepon, yeah.
Yeah, they're getting all of them besides one guy.
Website sucks.
Yeah, the one that got accused of all the
Yeah,
harassment.
what is it? Danny Morriston.
Yeah.
He's not going to be on then.
Huh.
Yeah.
You don't say.
He was like borderline Me Too. That's why.
I want to say it was like sexual assault or something like that.
Something like that.
Something like
Hey,
that.
at least
It was
he
along the
didn't
vein.
kidnap a family, steal their boat, take them to the sea, kill them, and drop them into the deep ocean.
He didn't even threaten to burn their house down like Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
No.
We got somebody to
So this
admit.
is so it's rather tame when
It
it
is.
comes to celebrity things.
Yeah,
No
it's a
one
tame.
died.
No. No death, no dismemberment.
Hello, Natalie. She is connecting the audio. There she is.
About to say, that was a hell of a thing to connect to. No death and dismemberment. I mean, that's just given on a Zoom call.
Given on a Zoom call. Can you hear us?
There's always that moment.
Can you hear us?
I can't hear you guys yet.
No.
There's always that moment.
Is our roadcaster our audio problem again?
No, it's
I can hear
right there.
you.
Go to the Zoom. And then go down to they can hear we're live. The green mic is going. Yeah,
Okay.
we're good.
Can you hear us?
All I have to do is what God gifted me in, and that is just keep talking until she says, "Yeah, that's it. I can hear you guys." And then we know that the problem's solved.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at all of our levels right now, and I know I am at least a little bit present volume-wise. I know this is plugged in. There. That's recording there. Yeah. So we should be good. What's next in the live folder?
You don't want to talk about celebrity murders more?
We could.
Why not?
We could talk
Instead,
about that.
What's that say in the chat?
we could talk about Daniel Radcliffe's sex symbol.
She's having some audio issues. She'll be back.
But the Daniel Radcliffe, he is playing Weird Al.
He's
for
going full tilt.
A movie with there's a trailer up ahead or above. Yeah, that right there, that is the trailer for the Weird Al story. Yeah, it just has a whole bunch of Weird Al songs. Of course, he actually is.
I think I'm a clone now.
That's just a different multiverse. We're doing the same thing. Of course, you shouldn't be surprised.
It's the white stuff. It's in the middle of the Oreo.
But the Weird Al show, or not show, but that was an awesome show. The Weird Al movie. This is the untold true story. Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al Yankovic. And I got to tell you, this looks like a good movie.
I am so happy for this.
Yeah, that could be. We were just talking about it.
Yeah, because he's bad. He's bad. The shot of Jack and spitting, like, damn. I was like, I did not know this side of Al. I need to look at this.
Yeah, there's Dr. Demento up in the
Yeah.
background, too.
And that scene right there, he's like, who's got an accordion? Like, this just looks like Al had his stamp, and he was like, go ahead and make the movie. You have to use my music. You can't try to sing it. Like, that, and that's how it should be. Like, that makes me want to fucking, like, hearing his lyrics throughout this trailer was the best fucking part ever. Like, one of my first nerddoms was I was a Weird Al Yankovic nerd. I
Went
loved
to a concert or two.
Oh yeah, we went to like two or three of them.
You-
It was really good. I loved seeing Weird Al live because he was a showman. He changed into the fat suit.
Yep.
He changed into all the fucking
He gave you all the hits.
all about the Pentiums. Guess what? He was hopping in that fucking red shiny suit.
Yeah,
He
man.
fucking laid it on thick because he knew you were here to see him and what he does, and it was just so good.
It's
Admit her
always
again.
a great show.
We'll try the take two
Admit, please.
and hope it doesn't get weird.
And
show.
connecting to audio.
I just find it, no, you don't want to hide that one.
Can you hear us? Test 1, 2.
Testing.
Hi.
Testing.
No audio?
I don't know how to sign language, otherwise I would.
Well, this is food.
Oh, you're still connecting.
Drink.
Is that? Can you hear us now?
How about now?
Okay, I don't know if you guys
We
can
can
hear
hear
me.
you.
Yeah,
We can hear you.
you're good.
I can't hear anything.
We
Well,
can
that's half the
hear
battle.
you perfectly fine.
got a green microphone. That's good. We have audio levels here.
I got to tell you, from the first point to where Big Brother started helming the Mac computer to now, like leaps and bounds, man. Leaps and bounds.
It is probably leaps and bounds.
Ah, leaps and bounds, man.
She's gonna switch PCs.
Okay.
If you have the option, I mean, sure. Not everybody has that option.
You can always do it on her phone too.
I mean,
but it's okay.
You look at us
She'll
here.
figure it
like,
out.
we have I can reach in one direction and grab a PC, you know?
Not the boy group.
Yeah. No, that's a weird joke when you take it in that context. And that's odd having weird above us when, anyway. But I'm excited for Weird Al. You are too. Big Brother. I think it looks good.
Yeah.
So we got
Looks
another
weird. Get it?
one. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to choke on a Yingling because that would
I mean,
be
he was
another different joke.
He was
But,
a fourth, like Weird Al was a forethinker because
He was.
He said Frank's 2,000-inch TV. We're almost there.
We are. Because, man,
But what are the Japanese doing?
somebody else who's a forethinker, that's this next story. Because the Japanese roll out, they build giant Gundam-style robots to fix their power lines, and you can control it with a VR headset.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, the Gundam stuff.
How would you ever not want this? Make sure you get rid of that ad box there. Perjanger box. That is so fucking cool. And you could try to admit her again.
Yes, admit, please.
Third time's a charm.
Hello. Hello,
And
hello.
connecting audio.
Hello.
We can't hear you.
Now it works.
Yes,
I can
now
hear
it works.
Hey!
There we go.
That's great.
You made it in time for Japan
Start the-
creating a Gundam-style robot to fix power lines
That's awesome.
controlled by VR. And my God, I think every country should have one of these.
So what we do is like these are 3 stories that we do like at the end of our podcast. So we're doing the end before we do the actual show. So this is Matt, Big Brother. He's in the producer chair.
Off
This is
camera.
Natalie.
Nice to meet you.
Friends from me high school.
I thought you were going to do the Thor line. We're friends from work.
And then it's just long time, just reconnected. So
First time, long time.
first time, long time.
Okay.
Okay.
So the first story we had was that 90s show. Everybody's coming back besides the obvious.
Danny Masterson.
And then the second one was Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al Yankovic and the first trailer, and it looks so good.
Yeah, that looks awesome. I'm actually kind of excited for that because I mean, who else is going to play him?
I mean, he's the logical choice. As weird as it sounds.
He is.
It's gonna be awesome.
It is going to be awesome, and especially since, we saw in the trailer he like does a swing
And it's
jack
kind of
and
it'll
does
be
the
kind of
Triple
his
H.
way to pseudo play Obi-Wan Kenobi because he played Weird Al did.
I mean, you're talking about maybe a scene that if Disney allows it.
Come on.
Maybe a scene if Disney allows it. Like, hang on, you know what? We never actually liked the Yoda song. We just let you do it because,
No,
That was
no,
Lucas.
no. He did.
Disney might think that now. Is my point. You're
Yeah,
like, yeah,
but
guess what, guys?
now-
Fuck you.
Now,
My money.
no, now it's sort of in pop culture.
It
You
is.
gotta just go with it. Ha ha. That's wonderful.
Well, that was the best part about Weird Al is that he just made fun of pop culture to the point to where it was like
It was a badge of honor.
He was Don Rickles of our time, to where it was a badge of honor if you got your song parodied by Weird Al Yankovic.
Yep.
To where even Eminem was like, "Yeah, you can parody my song. You can't make it a music video though." No, you can do the song. I like the song. No video.
He was just in PA in like February.
Yes.
And he's extending his Vanity tour He's in an extremely long title, but he acknowledges it's just from my own vanity.
His one song, "Handy," it's it's so funny.
I gotta get back into the newer stuff that he's done. Like I just remember all the old stuff that I love because I remember like the first rap song I actually remember was Amish in Paradise.
Amish Paradise. Yeah.
Amish Paradise. Like I was able to recite that entire fucking CD.
I think everybody was.
It was so good.
It was so popular.
So good. And we saw him in concert like
Twice.
at least two times. And it was great each time.
In Jersey, we
awesome.
came out.
We saw him in the
without
Man.
holes.
And then we saw him at the whatever the Camden Center's called now.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, it
Camden
changes.
Prison
I always
Center.
call it the Tweeter Center still.
Right.
It'll never go on from the Tweeter
We
Center.
can just call it the Tweeter Center, and
It's-
everybody
it's
knows
the,
what
it's
we're
the
talking
Camden
about.
Waterfront Center now. That's what it's called.
Yeah, the Camden Reverse Prison.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have.
I'll allow
they
it,
have-
man. I'll allow it.
Music sometimes. Sometimes there's walls. Sometimes there's not.
It's like when I told somebody I was moving if we were moving here, he was like, "Oh, not Chester."
Yeah, if you go outside,
That's
outside of the two safe havens, and that's the music center and the aquarium,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
lost.
If you've ever been to the Man, you know. Like, oh no, I've been to the Man. Yeah, no, I've been there. Great venue.
If you're looking for free,
Great
property,
venue. Great venue.
Camden's got lots of free property.
Good venue.
You have to deal with the crack addicts on your own. That is your problem. Even the police in Camden.
Well,
went,
where do we go?
we're out.
Where do we go to like and subscribe?
Bring a shiv. They want to hit that. They want to hit that subscribe button right here, right above my head. Well,
Underneath
that's
your
gonna
shirt.
be the very best purge hangers and wall hangers video for you, right above the old man's head. Well, that's going to be every single Triforce podcast in a playlist. And as always, the podcast doesn't end until our main man Connor says, "Bye-bye." On a side note, while Big Brother gets the ready to go live screen ready, because I'm in my job, I have to answer the phones a lot, and I talk to people and all that. And then whenever I go to hang up the phone, I practice my bye-bye. I'm like, all right, you have a good day, bye-bye. I try like, hi there, like, all right, have a good day, bye-bye. Like, I try a different way. I practice my bye-bye.
You have to segue that on May 27th. You have to go like when you answer the phone, you have to go, hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there. And if they don't answer, General Kenobi.
You don't get a discount that day. That's what happens.
Safe word justice.
That's another way to get a discount. I will know exactly what you're talking about. But unlike everything else of the 0% discount, you'll get a half a halfpenny off.
So now, while he's setting that up, I'm going to send you. I don't know what my phone is doing right now. It is crazy.
But he's going to send it.
The TikTok video of
Oh, my God.
yeah.
Click on that funniest moments thing. And on our website right there. Click on funniest, all videos right there. Okay. Now,
Long before people were
now
worried
pause
about
that.
hacking,
I'm sorry.
they had
Click the three dashes at the bottom. There you go. Yeah. And then it is, I want to say, hover over that bottom corner on the right, left there. Yeah. Okay to Senpai, no to Hentai. It might be that one. Our titles are amazing.
That is amazing.
Peacemaker and James, I think James Gunn should have a license to kill.
Kevin Gunn? Does he need
In
that
the
at
ass.
MMR?
Well, no, I mean, not Kevin Gunn, and not specifically a license to kill. I mean, a license to kill in the DC universe.
How about-
he should get the golden key to the city of DC. He should
about
get
a
that
license
universe
to
after
quilt?
Peacemaker.
Quilt.
You need a license to quilt?
Yeah. I mean, it's a different license.
A license to kilt? because there are some people wearing clits. Ooh.
People wearing clits everywhere. I'll say it.
Clits and kilts. That's the new shop popping up across the street. You can only get kilts there.
And
It's
I sent
actually
you
clits, kilts. You can pause
Yeah,
that.
clits and kilts.
Emotional
You know,
damage.
the hairy donut was bought over
Duh,
by
I
new
knew
man.
it.
I sent you Safe
So.
Word Justice, the Batman one.
Yeah. That's Batman is apparently into BDSM.
Yeah.
And that's his safe word.
So we quote that a lot. So
Justice.
you might want to watch that because it will get quoted a lot.
There are two there are two inside jokes. One is
Got it.
Batman BDSM. The other is our fictional town that we're making, which of course is the strip club Clits and Kilts, formerly the Hairy Donut.
We had to change it because the Hairy Donut was a real place. I can't
Yes.
have a real place.
Yeah.
That defeats the whole purpose.
So it was strictly a creative call. Across the street is the chocolate brownie. Right
That's
next,
what they sell.
right next to the Red
and
River.
Kilts is
That
the Red
is that's the alcohol establishment where you can go in and purchase alcohol in massive quantities.
Guess
In
what
massive
its theme
quantities?
is?
Yeah, a liquor and beer store.
Next to the taco establishment that I'm making, it's the Chunky Queso.
Okay.
You got to have a taco shop.
You got to have a taco shop.
You do. You need Taco Tuesday. But yeah, you can't survive without it.
Well, you know, Clits and Kilts, they serve to the over 70 crowd, and they have Broccoli Tuesdays.
Yeah. Wasn't very popular,
They're bringing it back.
but
They're bringing it back.
Yeah. Same 70
They got
plus
sued
strippers.
by Arby's, though. That's why.
That was for different reasons. God, this has been an awesome end segment.
Probably for Salami Thursday.
So now you're up to
Shawarma.
date.
Yeah, you're totally up to date on all our craziness.
Yep.
It just gets weirder from here. So you know,
It's fine. I'm gonna get distracted by the Batman stuff though, because I'll go on rants. Batman's my favorite.
Okay.
yeah.
Favorite hero. I haven't seen the new movie because Michael Keaton Batman's the best one of all time.
This one is a close rival. I will say that. You just have to get past the emo Bruce Wayne part, but the Batman portion of this movie is fucking amazing.
I have heard good things, but I just haven't watched the new one yet. But Batman's my favorite superhero, and Skeletor is my all-time favorite villain. He is the best villain. I'll bring that up a lot.
I find people that come into the fold.
He's got an eye for talent, this one. The force is strong with this one.
I actually have a friend that does a full costume Skeletor for Skeletor karaoke in Philly. He's been doing for 14 years. So he'll do full character set. If you look up Skeletor karaoke.
Can we get him on Zoom in full regalia?
Yeah.
Zoom. You were thinking such small scale. I was thinking of a live podcast with Skeletor. How
No,
awesome
like-
would that
You
be?
probably do it.
Oh, all right. Yeah, set it up.
There we go. A live podcast with Skeletor. Come on,
Yes.
man. Big
Yes.
picture, man. Big picture.
I'd like my miracles in small doses first.
Mainline that shit right into my veins, man. I need happiness in my life. But another thing I need is to start this podcast. Otherwise, we're just going to have a really long end
3, 2,
segment.
1, we're now live. Hold on.
No, we're
Happened
not.
to my
And
passport.
it says Matt plays the Old Republic.
You know what? I hate this damn.
I have found that the last two that I did, as long as when I highlight that top bar, if I just hit delete and then type instead of pasting, it actually stays.
Well, I'm gonna do this because I'm lazy as fuck.
Fair enough.
So
So, watch that shit. Where's your phone?
guess what's gonna happen again?
Our jaggers and wall hangers, we are good, and we
Wait, type
are.
all that stuff every time. I don't know about that.
I used
Do you
to.
know what I do all?
I
day?
used to prep all that.
You could put it on a sticky note and just do it.
He does.
I do.
Yeah, but you delete it, hit space, and then copy, and then paste it in. You'd
Dude,
be
that's
fine.
4 extra steps.
Wow. Wow.
I actually.
Wow. We're live.
Oh, hi.
We can edit this part out. Yeah.
Bye.